You guys always hear me talk about the advantage that immigrants have when they come to this country.
Yeah.
And they have that combination that is unbeatable, the complete dynamic duo. They have the hunger and they bring the gratitude. And when you have those two, and this is live and in color, gratitude and hunger in one package. So I got the chills. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this. I'm going to introduce you to Aimmee Kodachian, not Kardashian. And we want to take them behind that black curtain because your story, who you are, just completely is the definition of struggle equals strength. When you can get through those struggles, right, you are going to become that person to take that to the next level. And that's what you embody. That's who you are. And I only know a little bit, so I'm as excited as you guys to hear this story. So introduce yourself.
Okay.
Let everyone. Here's what we want to do.
Sure.
We want to know where it started, where you're at today, and where you see yourself going. And we're going to chunk this down and pull out those golden nuggets.
Oh, okay. And that's if you recognize where I am today.
Okay.
So where I came from.
Okay.
Well, I was born and raised in Lebanon.
Okay.
And growing up, I had learning disabilities. So today we know as dyslexia, not your average dyslexia, the kind of dyslexia you hold your book upside down and you don't even realize it. So I was held back at school year after year. And one day my teacher called me and he said, stand up. I was sitting in the end of the room because I was the tallest. Obviously, I was repeating class. And he said, stand up to read. And I said, I was panicking. I couldn't read, especially when somebody to tell me to read loud.
The pressure.
The pressure of that. So I stood up and I had my book with me and I started shaking like this. I just couldn't read. And he said, okay, come here. I came down to the front of the room. And he said, go down on your knees. I went down on my knees and he said, put the book on top of your head and put your hand on top like this, on top of it. They used to do that in my country back then, a couple of years ago. Only a couple of years ago. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking if I put the book on top of my head, somehow I'm going to download something.
Right.
He was smart somewhere. And but that really took my self-esteem and my self-confidence completely down to the ground with going down on my knees. And I just couldn't continue, I went backwards even further because he put me down instead of encouraging me
and
to
in front
learn.
of everybody.
Yeah, in front of everybody. So I couldn't have friends at school. I couldn't relate to anybody. My sister, she was always ahead of me at school. She's 12 years older than me, but she was always good at school. So, and then the 1975 Lebanese Civil War just began.
Okay.
And my father learned about the country is going to start to go to war. And he got us all to the living room and he said, listen, I want you to be safe and we want to leave to Egypt. I want to travel to Egypt. And I was happy because I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. Nobody knows me over there.
It's a fresh start. Yeah.
I didn't understand what the war is. I never grew up in the war. I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, was like, okay, we're leaving the country. That was good. Everyone left the room. My siblings left the room. My father and my mother left the other room. And the clock, the radio was saying, there's some bad things in the country. And the only one who stayed in the room is me and my older brother, Robert. At that time, he was 20 and I was 12.
Okay.
And my father told him, don't leave the house because the country situation is not good. And he said, don't worry about it. I'm going to spend time with my sister, with Aimmee. I'm going to tell you something. I could not forget that day in my life because it was the most beautiful day having the conversation with Robert. Robert, just like that, asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? I said, I want to be a teacher. And he said, why do you want to be a teacher? I said, because my teachers are putting me down, and I want to be the teacher who lifts people up, who lifts the
So
kids
you
up.
had that in you.
Yes.
Where do you think that came from?
From the pain. From the pain I had. I wanted to make sure no one goes through that.
Okay.
No one goes through that pain. When I went down to my knees, I did not want to see anyone go down on their knees.
So it's kind of like when you see a parent, right? That
Yes.
tries to do everything they can to be a great parent because their parents weren't there for them, or they thought they weren't.
Exactly.
So they're gonna supersede. Okay.
Now either you take it the wrong way,
Yes.
or you take it the right way.
It's your propeller, or your anchor.
And that could be
Right.
either way.
Yes.
But in my heart and my mind, I was so determined that I don't want to see anyone feel the same way I felt.
Right.
So when Robert asked me what you want to do, and he was interested in talking to me about it, and it was shocking to me. I'm like, is that the
first time you verbalized it out loud?
To him.
Okay.
Yes, he was always my favorite brother.
Right.
But first time I spoke about it.
That's what I mean.
I felt good about it. And then he said, okay, I'm going to help you become a teacher one day. I said, Robert, come on, there is no way I could be a teacher. I can't even graduate from my class. What you're talking about? That's a dream I have. So he needed to get his tea from the kitchen, and I said, listen, I'm having good conversation with you. You stay right there. I'm going to get it. I'll get you your tea. And he looked at me. He was so handsome. He looked at me in his beautiful eyes, and he said, I got you. I got you. I'm going to help you. So I stood up, and I was so happy. That was the most happiest time I ever felt at that age.
Yes, because you had
somebody believe in you.
And not only that, somebody that you looked up to, somebody that you respected.
Yes.
But how interesting that is that he just knew.
Yes.
Right? He just could connect.
He told me, you know what he said? He said, you have your why. I could feel your heart. And now you're going to believe it. You have to believe it. I'm going to help you.
That's an amazing gift.
Amazing gift he gave me. So I stood up and I turned my back towards the kitchen. I took 2 steps and I just turned my back, and there's a wall in the hallway. And not a second later, a bomb flew through the window into that living room.
Wow.
And Robert was gone.
And interesting, if it would have been the reverse, right?
Yeah.
Then it would have been you versus that is it's amazing how things work, isn't it?
I didn't understand that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
I didn't understand why it was me that I was saved.
Let me ask you this. When you look back, was there because you're 12 years old.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you're 12 years old. You're a little girl. Mm-hmm. So how were you able to process that? Was there guilt? Was there... I mean,
4 years.
Right.
4 years.
And how did that stop you? What were those limits? Because people want to know.
Yes.
Right?
I'm going to get you there. Yes. I'll get you there.
That a girl. Hold on tight.
I'll get you there. So after that, when the bomb dropped, we were living in a 5-story building. And each one of those stories, a bomb flew through that, and I was shaken to my core. I looked at the other room. Remember, my father wanted the other room. And my mother was trying to throw herself from the window, panicking. From each one of those bombs, she was panicking more and more. So he was holding her back. And I was looking on the other room. My brother is burning, and my mother trying to throw herself. And the whole building is shaking. I mean, that day, I didn't just lose my brother.
No.
I lost my mother mentally.
Oh, she never
never recovered. So I had a mother I lost, a brother I lost. We lost our home. We became homeless. And that was just the beginning of a long, long, long journey.
Wow.
That I had to really pick myself up at 12 years old. And when we became homeless, each one of us, we went to different family members.
You just had to survive.
We had to separate. Separate. The country shut down. And before, it was one of the first bombs came to our house.
Wow.
It was like shocking. There were starting to be some things in the country, but never bombs.
Wow.
And then they took me and my 6-year-old brother, they put us in a mountain. And they left us there for safety. Now, in the mountain, you could see the Beirut all under. You could see the bomb flying every night from one area to another. And I didn't know each bomb, if you killed my other family, my brother,
where's it going to bomb you?
What's happening to my family? I lost contact with them for 3 months. The road was shut down.
It's a 12-year-old.
At 12 years old, now I have my 6-year-old brother with me, scared and confused.
Yeah.
So I had to really be there for him.
Was your mom with you?
No, no one. I lost contact. So they put us in the mountain and I had no one with me. So at that moment, they used to give us food to eat, and they couldn't find food because the country shut down. No electricity, no water, no food. Now they're giving us a piece of bread and a little bit paste tomato on it. If we were lucky, we'd get some soup and apple.
What was the weather like there at that time?
It was good. But the weather was perfect.
Okay, it wasn't.
As the weather was good.
It could be, right? Okay.
As it could be, but no one with other kids lost anybody besides me.
Wow.
And now I have no adults with me. I don't know what.
You're the adult.
I am the adult. I had to step up. Yeah. And one day I saw my brother digging in the garbage, and I went to him and I said, "What you doing?" Yeah, and then he said, "I'm still hungry." So I give him my food and I said, "Come here." I give him a hug. He became my wife.
Yeah.
So I had to stand up for him. He became my wife. Yes. And I said, "Here, you can eat my food," but I didn't give him my apple.
Had a girl. See, and here's what I want people to understand. I always tell, and this is so real and live and living color, so I have to go there. How many people you hear say, I'm in a funk, I'm depressed, I'm this and that, and I say this: get outside your bubble. Look around, because there's people that are praying for your problems.
Yes.
And if you're not willing to get outside your bubble, you're going to keep staying where you're at, right? That 12-year-old little girl that's fighting for her life for cancer at a children's hospital, she's the rock of the family, and the parents are trying to figure out how to stay up straight, right, and not crumble. And that's your story, right? At 12 years old, I mean, that's just amazing what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing stuff.
Because you have your why. I found my why.
And that's how important
That's how it helped
it's
me.
Everything.
My brother was my why. I lost my other brother. I'm not going to lose this brother.
And he's a little boy. Yes. He's 6 years old. Mm-hmm. He has nobody. So
I learned how to be a leader. I had to be a leader at that age.
Yes.
I had to lead myself first.
Yes.
And that's what I teach in my seminars and everything. You have to learn how to lead yourself, and then you could lead others.
Right.
That's the only way you could
What I love, though, is the gift that you got from your older brother, right?
Yes.
Even though you had to process and go through all this craziness, right, to get through it, to make it your anchor, your propeller, not your anchor, still, though, how the universe made that happen is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So now, how long were you with your little brother by yourself?
3 months.
And then what?
And then I reunited with my family.
They got you back together?
They got me back together. Okay. And my mom, I couldn't recognize that's my mom anymore. She was completely different mom. And she was on medication just to cover her pain.
It's the postpartum or the post-stress?
Yes, yes. Yeah. And then what happened is in that when we were in the mountain, at one time I was scared and confused, and you could just imagine, what was going on in my mind.
Physically,
mentally, emotionally.
Just drained.
Yeah, my life was crushed.
Yeah.
The whole in 1 second.
Yes.
It just a second, not just an accident, and you still have your normal life. No. An accident, and then I lost everything.
Your whole
normal.
World changed.
Whole world crushed on me. It's just like that.
Yeah.
And then I put my there is a bench. It was a bench there, and then there's a big tree, and I put my back on that tree, and I looked up. I had nobody else to look up to, and I said, "God, please help me," and I asked for that help. And Dave, I'm telling you, that experience was the most beautiful experience I have ever received.
What was it?
I was so in darkness in my heart, and I just felt the light came through me, and I felt all this hole. The light filled my heart, and I felt the energy, and I felt I can get up again, and I felt not alone, and I felt extremely peaceful. And it was so beautiful to have that light to keep me going in my life. Until today, I reach out to that light when I need it.
You can still pull from that light.
Absolutely. I feel that light inside of me. I know it's there, and when I go down, it pulls me right back up.
Does it give you that same feeling?
Yes, because I'm a human being like anybody else. Life doesn't stop there.
No.
Okay, we can experience life.
No.
Okay, no matter how motivated you are, and I am, no matter how much we understand, we still sometimes life could come and crush you.
I call it the life boot camps.
Yeah.
They want to see what you're made of.
Absolutely.
And can you make it to the other end?
Absolutely.
Right? So now, once you get reunited, then what?
I got reunited, then they found us some place to stay, cousins of
in
us,
your country.
In my country.
Okay.
They helped us, people helped us, give us blankets, give us food, give us water, as much as we slept on the cartoon, board on the floor with lights, with just candles, and but I was happy because I saw my family again.
And that's when the light came up. I never thought I'm going to
see them again.
And that's when the light came. The light that you asked for.
I asked for that light to keep me going.
Okay.
And then when it kept me going, we reunited with my family.
Then you reunited.
Yes.
Okay.
And just that was another happiness. I didn't care where we're sleeping. I didn't care if I didn't care about anything. All I cared about, they are alive.
So here's what I want to make sure that people get. Here's the golden nugget out of that. It's all about perspective.
Yes.
It's all about perception. Yes. So now, rewind that clock a year before that, being with your family is not nearly the same impact because you almost lost it, right? It was almost taken away from you.
My whole family could be gone because we were in that room.
Right, but now, right, just being with your family, because 3 months, you were the adult.
Yes.
You had to put that poker face on, right, and figure that out. That's why I'll never play poker with you. I don't know if she's holding jokers or aces. No, but the perspective.
Yes.
So when something happens.
You gotta try, man. I like that.
Yeah, but when something happens.
Then you understand.
But it's your perspective. And we just talked about this off camera with my dad.
Yes.
It's your perspective on how you decide to perceive that actual event.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes the difference between, honestly, a champion and a contender. And that's, I don't know what else to say, but this is awesome. So now what? I love this. I love it. Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
What?
This is
that's gonna take a whole book. Okay, but that was another beginning of 13 years.
Did you go to Egypt?
No.
Okay, so now
my father left back to Egypt after that.
Okay.
And then he came back. Well, we were separated. He went to Egypt, came back, and then we got at least one bedroom, a place for 6 of us to be in, and we were happy.
Home again.
We were happy to have roof over our heads, and neighbors give us things and help us. We all help each other, and my father left back to Egypt, and then we continued. The war continued. Mm-hmm. And then we went to Syria for refugee over there, stayed there for a couple of months, and then came back to Lebanon again. It was chaos. No school.
Why did your dad go to Egypt?
Because he wanted to make a living over there, and then we lost contact with him. There is no phone or text or fax, and not even fax.
Right. There's no Gmail.
Not even a fax.
There's no Gmail.
No Gmail, no fax, no telephone. It was very hard to reach. Somebody has to be going to Egypt in order to send some information.
The coordination is
the mail wasn't working, so it was very hard to connect with my father, and I was so close to my dad. Mm-hmm. But then life wasn't, my mom, she couldn't handle to raise me. We didn't have enough food to dress me. There is no school. School will open 2 months, will close another 2. I was already behind. Yeah. And then I was getting taller, and there was no opportunity for me to go back to school. So my mom told me, okay, well, there's a guy here. He wants to marry you. And you
arranged?
No, not arranged.
Oh.
I'm Christians. We don't arrange, but it just I can't take care of you. I mean, you will have a better life going to somebody who have a better opportunity for you.
Yes.
So 3 days after my 14th birthday, exactly 3 days after my 14th birthday, I was married.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I thought, okay, now I'm going to have a better life. And it didn't work out that way. It was different. We're not going there.
Right. But it just wasn't.
It wasn't there. But I
to
walked away with something beautiful.
What?
My daughter. I walked away with something, a gift to my heart. And when I hold my daughter, that was my power again.
Right. And that was the reason the universe put you in there.
He gave me that daughter that kept me going. I mean, my love for her, and she became my wife, was, I don't know if she knows that, but I know that in my heart, that was my power. That was my hold for me. She was everything. I was holding on. My mom, she used to tell me, I'm like a cat. You know, I take my daughter. I hold her.
She's a part of you.
She's everything to me. She kept me going. Honestly, I owe her my life for that. And she kept me going. Then I became a single mother. I had to come back to my mom's home, where my mom, she couldn't feed me in the first place. Now I'm coming with a daughter with no money, no education, no skills, a war.
Wow.
And a single mother.
How old were you?
18, around 18 years old. I'm still a kid. And with 2.5 years old daughter. So I lost many family members, escaped death again, 13 years living in a war, no hope, no opportunities, nothing. And it just, every day just to pull my head up, it was great, just to pull my head up.
Yeah, just the effort.
Just the effort.
Just to do that. But your daughter was the internal flame.
Yes.
She was the internal flame.
Yes.
Like you said. And it's interesting that you say, if she saved your life, but vice versa.
Yes.
So it's that win-win, relationship.
The bond, because I knew what love is. And I had to hold on my love. Love is everything.
And that's what
love keeps you going.
And that's what happened with your younger brother.
Yes.
You loved him so much that was your why.
Yes. At that time.
Yes.
And you see, this is
and look how your face changes when I talk about that. The smile, right?
Yeah.
Because it's real.
It's
real.
It's love.
This is life and death stuff here.
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
And this is what other thing I teach is, your why changes in life.
Yes.
Doesn't mean I forgot about my brother.
No.
Or even now, my daughter, she's grown women and have kids. But your why will change as you go in life.
As you change.
And you have to learn how to not let go. Doesn't mean you forget about your why, but allow your why to grow.
With you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And give them that push and let them go. And say, okay, what is my second why now?
Yes.
What is my third why? And that's what kept me going. And people tell me, what keeps you going? How you kept going 13 years, or you came to this country. Then I came to this country. I know you want to know more.
Yes, I know.
I got an opportunity.
I love it.
I came to this country before the last time I came to this country. I didn't feel like I could stay here because I didn't know how to speak English. It was impossible. I mean, if you spoke my language, I spoke English.
Yeah.
That much. And it was not possible. I don't have money, don't have education, no skills. What am I going to do here?
Wow.
But the last time I came here, I was praying. I was really reaching out to that light inside of me. I was in so much pain. And I lived through all my life in guilt that even when I'm smiling, even when I'm happy, because we had happy times too. Inside of me wasn't happy because that guilt, that my brother should be smiling right now.
Yes.
Not me, even though I was filled with the light that kept me going. But then, when I came the last time to this country, my daughter, she was 10 years old. I was like 25 years old. And everybody was telling me, you're gonna stay here. There's no way. You don't speak the English. I mean, you don't have papers. I was visa, like visitation. Yeah. You have a daughter to raise. Are you out of your mind or something? You're not gonna make it here.
Wow.
Because there is no way you're gonna make it. I wasn't a refugee. I couldn't reach for the country to help me.
You just have a limited time.
I had myself and $200.
And your daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more different situation. You have to read the book. I'm not going to go there. But we'll go a little bit into that. people helped me as much as they could.
Right.
We had to stay, my daughter and I had to stay in the closet all night long at one time, at one point. She still remember that. Because we didn't have roof over our heads, and the woman, she didn't want to tell the husband we were there.
Oh.
So she had to hide us in the closet at night, so I could have a roof over me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And we were sleeping in the couches, people's couches, and who gives us 2 days, 3 days. I was literally couch homeless in this country.
Yeah.
And people saying, you know what? I'll buy you the ticket. Just go.
Oh.
Because if I'm going to help you, I'll buy you the ticket.
They mean well, but they don't know.
Who wants to take two people? They have no insurance. They have no hope they could stay here. And help them with what?
Right. You don't know the language. You don't know anything.
I don't have a skill.
Nothing.
I don't have anything. So how are you going to stay here? We'll help you by giving you a ticket to go back to your country.
Okay.
I said, guess what? In my mind and my heart.
What?
I said, you don't think I have money, I have education, I have skills, or I have anything, but I have my why.
That's what you knew.
That's what I knew.
That's what you knew. And that's what was strong enough to
That's
pull
what
you
kept
through.
me going. My why is my daughter to be safe, because I don't want to drag her from school every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to drag her in the middle of the night to get her out the house because the bomb is dropping. I want her to have a better
quality of life. Yeah.
And I want to have better life for her. I know in my heart, I knew there is something about me this time to stay. And no matter who told me what, I'm going to continue going on.
And here's what I want to make sure we hit home. We're talking about the why, and everyone knows me. The why is the epicenter, right?
Yes.
And I always say, if your why isn't big enough, stop. Go find something that is. And when it becomes bigger than you become unstoppable, and that's your story. And I always tell people too, when you're going after something that scares you and excites you at the same time, and this is even beyond that, what you're doing right now, because you're trying to stay into a country that you don't know the language, everyone else is telling you you're crazy. Mm-hmm. They don't have the fog lights that you have. The fog lights. They can't see through that fog, right? Because it's so unclear. I always talk about, don't worry about the how, as long as the why is big enough. That's right. The how will make you overwhelmed. Yeah. But because you're going after something that's so big, but you know it in your heart, it's a lot of fog. But I don't have the same fog lights that you have, because it's your journey.
And you know what I did too? I learned throughout my journey one thing. I mean, I learned a lot of things. Of course. I learned a lot of things. Each one, even from my teacher, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to deal others with the way they want to be led instead of me leading them the way I want to be.
And with compassion.
There is a lot of things I have learned. But today we're talking about the why, and then we're talking about the fear, because that's what you talk about. And what happened is that I learned throughout my journey to teach myself to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes, I love it.
I did that.
I love that, because in my book, I say fearless is bullshit. And here's why. Because people tell you need to be fearless. If you're not fearless, you're never going to win. That's a feeling that we have. Yeah. We have to tap into that courageous part, right? That core, that three-letter word.
And that's
core.
okay. I look at my fear, but I had to learn that. You see, this is something you can't just switch.
No.
You have to train yourself to go.
And it's called wisdom.
And it did help me going through all this fear, the bombs, and being by myself and being alone. And coming to this country was different kind of fear.
Yes.
Because even though over there I wasn't fear, but it's my language. It's my country. It's my food. I know where to go.
It's you.
It's me. Here, it was totally different fear. Imagine. It was fear of, people were putting fear in me.
Of course.
Because they were like, how are you going to make it?
You're not going to. They keep telling you why, because they can't see it.
They couldn't see it.
But here's the other thing that people have to get out of this. This part of this story is vital to get this. Look, listen, and I understand this more than a lot of people, because I didn't do good in school. I wasn't supposed to win. I didn't learn in a certain way. Yeah. You didn't learn in a certain way. But that doesn't mean you can't learn. And you said this to me 4 times now. I learned this, I learned this, and I learned this. So this goes out to the parents out there, the grandparents, the coaches, the teachers, that when these kids don't learn in a certain cookie cutter mode, you have to figure out why that is. It doesn't mean they can't learn. You got to figure out what
they work.
Who are they? And I got to say this, thank God for both of us, right?
Yeah.
And thank God for me. EQ trumps IQ all day long, because my IQ follows my EQ. Thank God in life, EQ is what counts. And that's what you built. You built your EQ, right? To connect with people and to you're able to tie into that love. Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. From a 12-year-old little girl. So now you're in the United States. You have that why. You have your fog lights on, and you're determined.
I'm determined.
Now what?
I learned, I was determined enough not to have a plan B.
Yes.
I was
Burn the boats. Burn the boats, baby. Burn the boats. Okay.
And I couldn't, I at times I was fear.
Of course.
I had to reach down to that light that I have. And I had to ask, and I had to be determined. It was not just because I'm strong. It was, I felt the fear.
And
I really
share this with them, right? And you also felt times where you questioned yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Should I do this? Am I doing the right thing?
Absolutely.
That's real.
Absolutely.
That's real.
But as soon as those thoughts takes over, I allow them only to be 2 minutes. And so many people, they know me now, they say, how you do that? Because I trained myself to recognize those voices.
Yes.
And as soon as that fear sound comes to me, oh, are you doing the right thing? Are you gonna be okay? People telling you this, they must know better than you do. They know the country better than you do, and you can't make it here. Or all the thoughts are coming in 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I learned how to kick it out.
And see, because you raise your level of awareness.
To kick it out. And literally I felt the people looking at me with very, oh.
Yeah, feeling bad.
She's thinking she's thinking
pity.
she's gonna pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're not seeing anything besides, I don't have education.
Yeah, no idea.
You have no idea. Yeah, and that's okay. You can have that.
Right.
And I had to just then, I couldn't say anything because what I'm going to say, I'm not here to prove to you.
Right.
I'm here to prove to me.
And the actions are what's going to speak.
And you know what?
Yes.
The first time I'm going to say it, every time I was looking at me and somebody saying, oh, poor, Aimmee, I was like, poor you, you don't know me.
Right? But
you don't know
that's
what
the
determination I have. And you don't know the power behind me. You don't know my why. And you know what? That's where I teach, don't ever, ever underestimate anybody.
Yes.
What they can do.
Yes.
They might be weak in one area, but they have strength. So everyone, all of you have something special about you. And you need to figure that what is something special.
Now let me ask you this. How important was it to you? I know the answer to this, but I want you to say it. How important was it to you to be able to convey everything that you're talking about right now to your daughter? The strength, the determination, listening to your GPS, listening to your inner GPS, your intuition. That's everything you've done. That's everything that you embody. How important was that to give to your daughter?
It was very, very important. But what happened is, my daughter, she came to different country at a very young age.
Right. So it was like almost like she was born here.
Yeah, but she went through the pain in the country.
Yeah.
She went through to see my pain and to witness that pain.
Okay.
She didn't understand it because she wasn't there when I lost my brother, lost my mother, and lost everything. She couldn't.
And she was an infant.
She's a kid when that happened. But she did witness the war and the loneliness and the fear. But when she came to this country, she wasn't accepted here. Because she didn't know how to speak English. We were poor. I couldn't get her right clothing.
No, everything was against her.
Was against her.
Yeah.
So it's poor girl, it was very hard, shocking to her to change the country. And therefore, my communication with her wasn't the same.
Okay.
Because she was completely indifferent, trying to fit.
She wanted to run from where she really came from.
Yeah,
and you're a big part of that. I got you.
And then she's trying to relate to the kids, and I didn't know. So it was a little bit another challenge.
Yes.
As a mother, to reach out and connect with her. That was another painful time to have that connection. We're beautiful connected now.
Right.
She's older, but it was a little bit.
She learned.
She learned, and then she. I mean, I think because I left some examples to her, I know that she survived and she takes those lessons and appreciate that, and she's passing it on to her kids now.
Yeah, and that's the ultimate gift.
Yes,
that's the ultimate gift, and it's so interesting that you say, well, she had all this going against her, and it's interesting because that's your daughter, that's your baby, right? But what you came through to get you guys there is just. I mean, it's absolutely.
It's a journey.
Oh, it's beyond. It is
that's
awesome.
why I have one of my own personal quote. Is we don't have a choice of when we leave this earth, but we have a choice what we leave behind.
I love that.
And
I love that.
What I think, even whatever we went through, ups and downs and everything with my daughter or anybody I meet, is what I leave behind.
Yes.
And now my daughter, she's leaving, really guiding her kids behind, leaving behind. She's going to leave a legacy.
And that's what you're living.
And I'm so proud of her.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a nurse, registered nurse, and I'm so proud of her.
See, and that's what people have to understand. If you are not here to leave a legacy, whatever that definition is for you, then my question is, why are you here?
And it's not what I say that it's, and also I say it's not what you leave, money or material or earthly stuff.
It's your legacy.
It's your legacy. It's your wisdom. It's your love. It's the memories.
And it's the impact.
Impact you do.
The impact, right?
That's what we leave.
And that's okay. And guess what? Even if part of that is money, if part of that is your estate, whatever it is that you leave, whatever that, I believe anyway, whatever that definition is for you, right? Leave that legacy.
Leave something behind.
Because we're so gifted to be here.
But money comes and goes, Dave. And money, you could leave $1 million or $10 million.
Use $1 billion.
And then they could lose it.
Right.
But they will never, ever, ever lose the wisdom or the guidance. When you guide someone in the right direction and they feel and see the light.
The impact. Yes.
The impact.
Yes.
That stays with them, even the money's there or it's not there. It's nothing wrong to leave the money, but leave the wisdom.
Yeah, it can't be just the money, right? And if there's a byproduct, right, that someone was very successful, absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely, because at the end of the day.
But some people focus only on the money, and then they work so hard that they don't have time to spend with their kids, thinking, I leave money, it's better. But no. Leaving both, it's fine, but leave your legacy of the love and the memories that you have with your family.
Absolutely. And then you also see the people on the flip side where they want to feel like money is not good. But I go back to this interview. I saw Oprah Winfrey get interviewed one time. And he asked a question that I knew was not on the list because I could see her face. And he said, you ever feel guilty for all the success you've had? And she stepped back a second and she goes, absolutely not. She says, number one, I earned it. But number two, I wouldn't be able to do what I can do without this success.
Absolutely.
So I want to make sure that people understand that too.
We're
it's not
saying,
just...
No, this is something else we're saying what you're leaving behind. But absolutely, money is vehicle.
Yes.
To get you to where you need to be.
And
if I don't make enough money, I'm not going to be able to be here today with you. I have to be working somewhere.
So now, we're in the United States. You're starting to learn the language. You're building a life.
I'm just starting to learn the language. I get a paper to work. They were given permission to work for...
But just temporary.
2 year temporary for 2 years. I was lucky.
Right.
And then I get to work and then start to stand on my feet, a little bit. And then I met a beautiful man who really adored me and loved my daughter for who I am. And he didn't care if I know how to speak English or I didn't.
Right.
or I had money or I didn't.
Was he
I
from your country?
No, American.
Oh, American.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Las Vegas. He was born in Vegas.
Okay.
Then he was more than the soulmate, and cared.
Okay.
Really, really cared about me. And then he even in the beginning was feeling like, oh, I want to help her and everything.
That's a mistake.
And that's fine. He was having joy with that, and I knew that.
Right.
I was like, okay.
I told you that's why I'm not playing poker with her. See, you're good, you're good.
Well, it was really nice to see that he's giving.
Well, you feel that love.
I felt
and that.
I loved him more because then before he knew what I can do,
yes,
he loved me for who I am, the weak, the person who didn't know how to speak English, but he didn't know much about my past. And I didn't tell him much because I didn't know how to tell him.
Yeah.
So it was like trying to communicate just to know the name and a little bit here and there.
And here's what people have to understand about this, right?
Yeah.
Right now, up at this point, people are like, oh my God, she's so lucky that she met this man. No. She became that person to attract that man.
Thank you.
Please,
I like that.
huh? Right up here, that
like
girl.
that.
But that's what has to be.
Yeah.
See, that's the highlight.
Yes.
That's the gold nugget out of this. It's not. There is no luck. You make your own luck, right?
You get that.
Oh no,
Very
it is.
Yeah.
You have to become that person, right?
Absolutely.
And here's the other thing. If she became that person and then fell back, the relationship would have left.
Yeah.
Right? Universe says, life says, you have to earn it.
Yeah.
And you had to become that person. That's how you earn that unconditional love. And that's really what it is. It was unconditional love from day one.
And I love that.
Yes.
Because he wasn't loving me for anything.
No.
Besides my heart.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love that about being with him.
Right.
And he became my best friend, my husband, my brother, my everything, my family. I told him, you're stuck with me for the rest of my life.
You're done.
You're done. You're
Stick a fork in you, you're done. But think about it. And he had to become that person to attract you. Now, what's great is from the outside, he couldn't see really what he attracted until it started to blossom and start to unfold.
And he's like, what did I do?
Oh my God. And then he probably looked up and goes, you are good. You're good, you. So I love that because that's what people have to understand. It's not luck.
No. And then when he started, seeing a little bit more about me, and I was working at one place and I was doing really well, and he's like, we need to do something about this. You're good at what you're doing and everything. So we started a business. Okay. And I'm basically the entrepreneur more than him. Yes. He's a great smart man about everything, but entrepreneur, it's a little bit different. And I discovered I always kind of knew I had an entrepreneur in me, but I couldn't have an opportunity in my country.
No, you just didn't have it.
I just didn't have the opportunity because no one, they would look at you there, oh, you're nice looking, maybe you married somebody rich.
Right. And especially a female, right?
Yeah, female.
In your country.
I'm talking about 35 years ago.
Of course.
And it's like, okay, I didn't want that in my life. I didn't want to attract a man and have a lot of money and put me in the closet and say, okay, dress up, and that's all I want for you. No. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted something different.
No.
So my husband gave me the opportunity to do whatever I want to do in the business. And he's like, okay, I like your brain. You do whatever you think, and I'll help you. I'll help you in a different way, but I like that. I was marketing, I just ran the business. Yes. I run with it. So I did a lot of things to prove myself that I could do a lot of things. And then we opened another business, and I was running everything. And I was enjoying that because I was in the background. I didn't know how to read and write. So every time I meet with customer, I ask them for their business card, and I just copy their name when I met my husband, I didn't know the ABC. Mm-hmm. So he got me cards to learn the ABC.
Wow.
I didn't know how to write a check. Wow. I never wrote a check in my life. It's like, okay, my neighbors were having party outside, and I was sitting, flipping those cards to learn the ABC. That's the immigrant mentality. Yeah. Get it done. Figure it out, right? And
don't let that hold you back, because at the end of the day, you're going to learn it, right? That's just knowledge.
And I had a hard time learning.
Of course.
Because I have dyslexia.
Right. So now you have another obstacle.
Yeah, another obstacle.
See, I always say God has a sense of humor. He says, let's see what you can handle, right?
Dave, literally, I used to take this box he got me. It was something, the name is popular, the name I was teaching you, like the letters and everything. So anyway, I took the lessons he gave me. They were cassettes too, that you have to follow. I used to go sit in the corner for hours and hours just to learn and visualize, because I could learn from visualizing.
Me too. Yes.
And then when I see, visualizing. So I learned a little bit how to, at least the ABC, and then a little bit. But still, I'm not able to write, and I could read a little bit, but not write. So, but I ran the whole business. Nobody knew. I hired people to do the letters for me.
I love it.
I tell them what I want, and I did the booking, the accounting.
So you do the math.
I did everything.
Okay.
Business was run by everything. I woke up in the morning. I worked 7 days a week.
I love it.
Just did whatever I needed to do.
I love that. Lace up your boots and get to work. But you never lost that dynamic duo, that hunger and that gratitude. The hunger and the gratitude.
But this is what happened.
Okay.
After I get all this, I'm still feeling guilty. I'm still feeling in my heart.
And it makes sense.
Why I'm here. And I didn't have that happiness. Even with that light in me,
missing.
I was missing the puzzle. I was missing something. So one day, I was hiding from people. I wasn't telling anybody my story or anything. So it was like, okay, I'm my own business. I'm dressed and I look good and everything. Like, hey, I'm up and everything. But there is something missing. So one day I was in a business meeting, and I had to go to another one. And I walked away from that business meeting. It went very good. I was dealing with the president of the company, and I felt so good about the meeting. I'm driving a brand new car. I'm driving on the freeway, and then just something hit me. I had my windows up, and I was listening to Celine Dion. I'm like, what? Is this me? I'm driving a brand new car, coming from business meeting. I'm driving on the freeway of the United States. I'm a businesswoman. Hello? How did I get here?
Wow.
How did I get here?
It just hit you.
It just hit me. My life was like, some people say when they're dying, they feel the whole movie come.
Yeah. The movie of the
movie of my life was all over. And I'm like crying. I'm like, what? This is like, it just something hit me. And the cars were honking. It's like, you're driving slow. I'm like, I don't care. This is my time. So I figured I need to get off. I got off better than having an accident.
Safety, right?
So I got off. I took my first exit I could see. And I parked in a place that was all desert. Vegas here, we have a lot of desert. Back then, it was more like 10 years ago, I'm talking about, 11 years ago. I parked my car and I put my head on the steering wheel and I broke down crying. I mean, I literally couldn't stop. My body was like shaking from happiness, from where I'm at today. It was like, hit me in a way.
Overwhelming.
The overwhelming. It's like, now I'm taking a breath.
Yes.
And I just heard that voice inside of me. And I don't hear voices now. But I heard the inner voice telling me, okay, take it easy. This is your time to share your story. This is your time where you need to tell people about your story, about not my story, the story of hope.
Yes. Yes.
The story that if I make it, they can too. Because to me, it was impossible to be living in the United States, driving a car, being a businesswoman.
Yes.
It's just impossible. Not, from coming, no education, fourth grade education only. I never went back to school.
Right. Because the why was big enough.
Yes.
But it's interesting how that hit you, and what you said is the exact verbiage, the exact sentence I use. Your story's not about you.
No.
Your story's about those other people. You were tough enough to make it through. It's your obligation now to share it.
And then I said to myself, I woke up then after I cried. I'm hearing that. I'm like, oh, really? Are you kidding me? I'm not sharing my story with anybody. And why anybody would care? Why anybody would learn something from me? And it's like the other, no, nobody's going to learn anything from it. And the other one, no, you're going to be inspiration. You're going to tell people when you're staying in line in the grocery store, don't complain.
Yes.
Don't complain you're waiting in line. Don't complain because you don't have the car you want. And it's not like telling them don't complain because if they don't know any better.
No.
They don't know any better. I'm not judging them.
No.
They're complaining.
You're going to give them a different perspective.
Different perspective.
Right.
And then let them see. And sometimes I complain, but then I wake up, I'm like, I'm complaining about what?
Yes.
Even my own story reminds me.
Yes. It brings you outside your bubble.
We need that.
I love that.
We need that to remember. So that's why I turned my car back up and I lift myself back up and I drove back home. My husband was home early because he wasn't feeling good. He was reading the newspaper. And I walked in and he said, what's going on? I said, nothing. He said, really, I know what's happening. What's going on? Your
makeup's running.
Yeah.
Right.
And he put his newspaper. He cares, he's just like, I'm his girl. Like, no, you need to tell me what's happening. I said, well, I decided I'm going to write my story to inspire others. He said, what? He said, I understand you know how to run the business and you're an entrepreneur. I can see that. I give you that. But writing a book, you never wrote a book. You never read a book in your life.
So how are you
writing a book? It's another thing, Aimmee. Are you kidding yourself?
Yeah, he just lit a fire.
And this is where I looked at him. I said, you know what? I know I have my why, and the how will appear.
That's your life. That's been your whole life.
And he said, I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh.
So I left the room and I said to him, I'll get back to you. I went to the other room, with my office room, and I sat on my chair and I went back.
Now what? Now what?
Now what? I promise I'm going to do this. And now what? A year and a half later, 7 days a week, I found somebody not to write the book for me, to sit next to me.
That's what I did.
Sitting next to me.
Yes.
Year and a half of memories.
Yes.
And stories.
Yes.
And inspirational and all that. At one time, she took her child and sent him with the babysitter overseas so she could take more time with me to finish it. So a year and a half later, I came to my husband and I dropped the book. And he said, oh my gosh, you did it. I mean, he was seeing it, but he needed to see the book. And that was my baby. Mm-hmm. The book became my baby.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
That I have to deliver to the world. Now, how I'm going to do that, that's another thing.
Right.
Now, having a book is something, but the book, they don't have legs.
No.
I have to be the legs for the book.
You have to build that brand.
And I didn't think about it because I was thinking, okay, I write the book, I'll send it to the universe, and it will be fun.
Right.
That's all I need to do. I did my part.
Right. Life is saying, not yet.
Life is saying, no. And then when my grandson, he was at 10, 11 years old at that time, he read the book and he said, Grandma, I'm never, ever, ever going to complain anymore. I am going to appreciate the breath I'm taking I'm gonna get out there and I'm never gonna complain. I'm like, wow. That touched my heart to say, okay, you can't just write the book and keep it to the world. I need to take this book somewhere.
Yes.
So now I had discovered that I need to speak. And I didn't know how to speak English very well, and barely, like, I could speak, but my language, my grammar, and my husband never corrected me. He didn't care.
Right.
I'm not going to be a speaker to care about that. So then I was shocked that I had to learn how to become a speaker, how to speak correctly in order to deliver my message. So I had to go through that fear and jump up, and I went 7 days a week to Toastmasters.
We don't know any of it. I love that.
7 days a week. They were sick of me. They were not sick of me. They were they see me everywhere. I joined 4 clubs, and I went 7 days a week. In every one that I'm not even member, but I went. I spoke. I learned because they corrected my English.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, what else I need to do? Yeah. What do you need from me? How can I help? How can I improve myself? I mean, I took punches from a lot of people because I really didn't know. I wasn't, ready to speak about this. Then I went to seminars and learned from some of the top speakers in the country how to speak, how to deliver your message. And I was determined. I couldn't back away anymore. I promised my book, I gave you birth, and I'm going to take you where you need to go because that's what I'm going to leave behind me. And in 2010, actually, the technology was very good. Yeah. I took my book from the internet. I took every chapter. Mm-hmm. The story is the story, but then I shared the lessons. So I rewrote the book in my way.
Right. Yeah, and you repurposed that book
with lessons and knowledge.
Here's what people have to get out of this. When you look back at your story, and I always say it's the same recipe, it's just different ingredients.
Yes.
The difference is you took massive, effective action day after day. Everything you've done, you've taken massive, effective action, and you said the same thing that I always say. I'm 7 days a week. Yeah. I don't know any different. Mm-hmm. This is what's in my DNA, and that's what a lot of people in the personal development world, right, get confused with. You can't sit on your couch and think that it's just going to come to you. Mm-hmm. You have to earn it, and if you're not willing to earn it, right, and one of the things too, and I know I want your feedback on this. When you're moving for something that scares you and excites at the same time, and you keep going after it, and you're not where you want it to be, you have to step back and say, I still haven't earned it. Life says you still have to go further because if you want it, you have to earn it. What's your thought on that?
Oh, absolutely. You have to earn it. You have to have an agreement with it.
Talk about that.
If you don't have an agreement with it, if you don't have you have to promise yourself.
You have to have a contract with that.
With that. You have to do that contract
I love that.
And you say there is no backing.
I love that.
If this is what I'm going to do, that's my contract with myself.
Make an agreement with your destiny, your destination, your goal, whatever that is.
And if you are lacking, because you're going to have to learn how to lead yourself.
Yes.
And how to lead yourself with love and compassion. Because sometimes you could lead yourself so hard that you crush yourself.
It's a dance. You got to figure that dance out.
So you have to really figure out how to lead yourself in a way that balances you.
Yes.
And it gives you direction.
Yes.
Because you have to become your own leader.
Yes.
And if you don't become your own leader, it's very hard to stay persistent.
Well, if you can't lead yourself, then you can't lead others. And I want to touch on what you said. It's a dance, meaning there's times you have to kick yourself in the butt, and you have to be honest with yourself. When you audit your day, you didn't do what you said you were going to do, then you got to hold yourself accountable. And then there's times you have to give yourself a break, give yourself that celebration that you've done it, right? And move on. So it's a constant dance.
And you're going to have to figure out what's stopping you.
Yes.
That's another key.
The stopper.
What is stopping you?
Yeah.
Because what is stopping you, you could turn that around to motivate you.
Yes.
What was stopping me before to have that happiness inside of me is the guilt that I'm alive and my brother is dead.
Right. So
I had to turn that really around. When I started to write the book, it wasn't fulfilling me enough. It's like, okay, I wrote the book, but it wasn't really what I needed to.
There's a void.
When I started to talk about it and feel the people life change right in front of me.
Yes.
This is where I understood my purpose in life. And that was the exchange of me living.
Yes.
When I did my seminars and I see people life changing and they see their happiness, I see them coming up from down on their knees like I was, and see them like lifting themselves up and seeing the light and the direction. That was payoff for me.
And that was your aha moment.
But I could have continued in that a box where I was feeling guilty about living.
But
I made a choice to turn that around.
You did, but here's where we're really going to give you, I'm going to edify you like crazy because you deserve it. Here's the other thing that you have to understand at this point now, everything you've heard. She became that person to accept that aha moment. That has to be understood. You went through all these fear barriers. You couldn't read. You couldn't write. You're from a different country. This, that, and no one believed in you. You had a little girl that you had. Nobody believed that you could write a book. Nobody believed that you could do that. Nobody believed that you could run a business. What you did is you looked for all your resources, you gathered them, you led them, and you moved forward. But through every one of these steps, don't ever misunderstand this. She became that person. When she was here, Aimmee became this new Aimmee. Yeah. When Aimmee was this Aimmee, you have to become that new Aimmee. Yeah. That's why when people step back and they're not willing to get knocked down, they're not willing to get cut, right? They're not willing to get in the game, and they hear your story and they say, well, you're so lucky that moment happened. No, she created that moment to become that person. That's what your story's all about. But that's so.
You're seeing it exactly what it is.
Well, because it is. It's so apparent, right? That's why I say, thank God for EQ. You know, my IQ is way back there. Thank God for EQ. So now I want to share what you're doing right now and everything that's going on. But before we do that, you brought so much heat. We have all these people jumping on. Marion, so we have some comments, questions. What do we have? Was this amazing or what? I could do another 10 hours with this.
You got a ton. Let me just go with Tiffany T. Ballard. Aimmee, you're doing something good with your struggle. Keep it up, girl. And she also says, yes, heal yourself first, then you can heal the world.
And wait a minute, Marion. I have to say this. Aimmee and Tiffany have to connect. I had her on 2 weeks ago. Okay. And her story. Sure. And I had her mom on after. Her story, real quick. Sure. At 11 years old, her and her mom were addicted to crack cocaine. Oh. And they worked through this. Their relationship now is unbelievable. Nice. When I did 2 shows.
Well, I'm glad she's turning it around and sharing.
Unbelievable. Nice. So you guys have to connect. Sure. She's an absolute inspiration. So anyway, sorry, Marion.
Okay, and Marina Dunn.
Great girl.
And life can change in an instant from what we know. No pity party.
That a girl, Marina. Knuckle that up, girl. Anybody?
And Gary Oakley, great show, big man. I'm just saying, yeah, baby.
So Gary, another great guy. Okay. Born with cerebral palsy. Everyone told him he's not supposed to do this, he's not supposed to do that. When you meet people, they walk in the room and it just lights up the room.
Yeah.
This guy lights up the room.
Nice.
Amazing guy.
I love to hear their stories.
This guy lights up the room. I'd love to have him on your show.
Sure.
That would be amazing. So,
Absolutely.
And who else, Marion?
Wade Blackgood says,
Great guy.
Aimmee, your story is so powerful. You are true strength. I admire you. She defines knocking out fear in the first round, and he's got one more up here. Amen, Aimmee. Love that so much. Financial is a small part of the real wealth and prosperity, and embracing the why will guide you to your treasures.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at
And
that.
he says, you are amazing.
I love it. I love it. Anybody else, Marion?
Chris Ripka, the power of understanding your own why is an amazing power, and I agree. Yeah, I agree, and I love you. I love how you talk about massive, effective action. Plan your action today for tomorrow, so when you need to call an audio, you can just pop up smoke and shift fire.
That's it. There you go. There you go. And what I love about Aimmee and why we connected from day one when I did your first show up in Hollywood was it is about lacing up your boots and getting to work. And I always say action becomes magical. The people in the circumstance, it's fear's kryptonite.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And
it's hard to feel that fear. And but you know what? One thing I would like to share.
Yes.
The more you learn how to feel the fear, the more you can conquer your fear.
Yes. Embrace it.
Yes.
Like your story.
You feel it. And then the more you feel it, it's kind of like the muscle will become stronger. Now I'm starting the show. Yeah, I started my own show, right? And then I started Stephanie's show, and now I started Judy's show. So I'm being a producer of shows right now, director and the creator of the show. Yeah. I'm directing 3 different shows and an online academy. And it's like, how this happened? I feel the fear because all of the fear I felt before, and because of all the people who didn't believe me and said, you're not going to be anything, or you're
all the naysayers.
All that. Actually, I turned it around to be my strength.
And
I don't care. So when I took that on the side, I know that this is what my purpose, and I know what I can do. I had to believe in myself. So the fear starting to be very little. Yes. And the little the fear, this is where your success grows.
Yes, because see,
you learn how to have a communication with your fear. We have to have fear. Without fear, there is no challenge.
And you have no feeling.
Well, I like to challenge myself.
Exactly.
Okay, you learn how to challenge that fear.
I love that.
I learned how to challenge it. Literally, I learned how to challenge it. And starting Online Academy, it was a huge thing to start. I have some of the best teachers in the academy. They came to me, how can I help you, Aimmee? How can I help you? And they step up and they give me their time. I recorded it and I have their lessons now. It was something huge to start and starting the show. But I did it not because I just woke up and did it. Like you said, I earned everything. Yes. I earned to face my fear, and anybody can do it. Anyone could do this if you train yourself to challenge your fear and look at your fear and say, I'm challenging you today.
I got this.
Just get up in the morning and say, I got this. I'm going to challenge you. I could do it.
And if we break this down even more and we dissect your story right now, just what you just said is this. If we rewound the clock a year from now, 2 years, whatever that was, and we said to Aimmee, or anybody that's going to go after this, and you said, tell me exactly how you're going to produce 3 shows at one time when you never produced a show, you say, I don't know yet, but my why is big enough, and the how will show itself, and the action keeps the fear at bay, and we got even more. You ready?
Yeah.
Now, let me have you share this. What does that freedom feel like when you conquer that fear? Is there anything that money can even buy to give you that freedom?
No.
That freedom?
this is where you feel you're living.
Yes.
You know, and then to me, when you give what you have, this is where you live. Not when you give your money, not when you give your materials, not when you give what you have. What I mean, what you have, is not even your knowledge, not even your wisdom. What you have is what you've been given to give. What you've been given. I was given to be a teacher, and today I'm speaking. I just spoke in the Women Federation for World Peace. Okay, for the 24th Assembly in New Jersey. And it turned out to be, I inspired so many people. I am not teaching in the classroom, but I'm standing on the stage of a Women Federation for World Peace.
But it's your classroom.
Yes.
It's your classroom.
But you see, that's what I'm giving.
Yes, that's your gift.
My gift.
Yes.
And each one of you, each one of us, each one of you have a special kind of gift that you can give. Either your voice, or you're speaking, or you're writing, or you're painting, or even when you're just driving a taxi.
Yes.
Your gift is to lift people up. Your gift is to get them to their destination safely. There is a gift in everything. And you don't have to be, like I said in my speech, you don't have to be a president, vice president, or an entrepreneur and popular, or a show, or
you're gonna be you.
You don't have to be all that to make a difference.
Right.
Sometimes I go do my nails. I feel she made a difference in my life.
Yes.
So we all connected with each other. And when each one of us live our gift, then we're giving out. Yes. We're giving out our gift. That's something no one could give. Nothing could replace that. Nothing could replace your gift.
Right.
Not your wisdom, not your challenge, nothing. Nothing could do. What you leave behind you is what you leave with the gift that has been given to you since you were born.
And find that gift.
And find that gift.
Give that gift.
And you know why people get? Because they think they need to be something different.
Yes. They don't, their own level of awareness is not where it needs to be.
And because society tells you, you have to be something different in order to give something.
And that's not true.
That is not true. And that they crush you. You see what, later on you're going to have an interview with Stephanie, and you did with Judy. I looked at Judy Morio, and I know her gift. She is a great writer. Yeah. She loves to read. I'm taking her gift and sharing it with the world by giving her the show. And Stephanie Thompson, I'm taking her gift of watching and analyzing movies, and her gift of voice that she has, and the gift that I told her today, I said, listen, people, they need to know who Stephanie is with your jewelry, with you, who you are, not what I want you to be. No. Don't allow anyone to tell you what you need to be. You are who you are, and you're beautiful the way you are. That's my message, that you need to dig deep inside of you and be who you are. You know why I like you? Because you are who you are.
What you see is what you get.
You're not afraid to come out with your whatever tattoos or whatever you wear. You are who you are.
And you have to embrace that.
And I embrace that. I see that. That's why people are attracted to hear you, to meet you, because they see, no matter how smart you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter who you are, people always have one thing, we all have one thing in common. We could see through the person, if they're being themselves or not.
Yes.
And when you see that beautiful light inside of the other person coming out, it's something you can't pay the price for.
And right, this is it, right?
Okay.
And think about if you're not sure how powerful those statements that Aimmee just shared, I want you to ask yourself this one question. When you meet that person and you feel that feeling of them not being real, how does that make you feel? You want to run.
Yes.
The last thing you want to do is keep communicating, right? Because you feel like they're not being
hiding. They're
honest,
not being
or
themselves.
they're trying to
because
be
they're
somebody else.
scared to be themselves, because people judge people, and that's where I want to break down.
Yes.
I want to break that wall.
The same.
I want to break that wall and say, be yourself and enjoy who you are. And embrace that gift no matter what it is. And you don't have to be millionaire. You don't have to be educated, have a lot of education. Like, you could be just simple person and be who you are. But that's your gift you're passing.
Yeah.
The gift you're passing is being who you are, not what you could be, you know.
And we talked about this on your show.
What you should be, yeah.
And we talked about this on your show. Let's take it a step further. Not only should you be yourself, but you're living in a time that's unprecedented, that you can build a brand under your terms. Let's just say somebody likes to work with beads, and they like to make bead jewelry, or they like to do whatever that is. You just have to Google that. Go on Facebook, go on Pinterest, go on Instagram, and you're going to find millions and millions of content and people that you can now interact with and start to connect with that we never had before.
No.
Right? We never had that before. So we're living in a time that I say takes all the excuses away. I was on a podcast and a lady went on and she said, "Oh, that all sounds great, but I'm not surrounded by the right people and I can't get around the right people." And I said, "You're wrong." I said, "You're absolutely wrong. You're on a podcast right now that might be broadcasting to thousands of people that are in this mindset." So for you to say that you can't get in that is wrong, and that's just an excuse you're not willing to do.
See, when you be that person, then you attract the right people.
Like with your husband, like we talked about.
Yeah, you have to be that. You have to be the person who you are.
Right.
And don't. You see, I don't look around I don't go to attract people. People will get attracted to me, and that's the right people when they come to you.
Yes.
Not you going and searching and trying to find out if this person is this person. No. If you allow that thing to come down the wall, you see people coming in.
Yeah.
They just come in. They just come in. I have people coming in from every direction. They help me. I basically make something from nothing. Not because I'm smart, because I allow myself to be.
Yes.
And if you do that, you can achieve your dream too.
In a courageous state. And when you are yourself, you are who you are.
Beautiful. Something beautiful.
Everything. Let the chips fall where they may. And the people and the circumstances will come in. Now, Aimmee, is there anything that I didn't talk about that you want to share?
Oh. No, I think we're fine by now.
We did good, huh? Real quick, Marion, anybody else jump on with any comments that we want to, or questions?
Cindy Lemke says can't made to read her book.
Okay, awesome. What?
Made blood good. He goes 100%. She's so cool. I love that lady. Chris Ripka, he goes, find your path by sharing your passion.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, here's what we're going to do. When we reshare this, as you guys know, Amy's going to be able to jump on, reconnect with you guys. I'm going to jump on, and then we're going to put this on our YouTube. This is an episode that you can't watch enough, because there's going to be so many things, right, that when you watch it the second time, the third time, you're going to say, man, I didn't remember that. But your level of awareness now let you handle that.
Sure.
So
if they want to connect with me, they can go to www.AKExpertsTV.com, and you could learn all about the shows and the academy.
And they can follow. And when we jump off and Aimmee jumps back on, she will post all that information.
Yes.
And if you can't find her, reach out to me. I know where she is. I know where to find her.
So I'd like to leave with one thing.
Yes.
That's another one of my quotes. You don't have to be perfect to be beautiful and powerful. All you have to do is just be yourself.
I love that. I love that. That a girl. So we end the show the same way all the time.
Okay.
Now, I believe that you can only be in one state of mind at a time.
Okay.
So if you're in victim state, you can't be in gratitude state.
Absolutely.
If you're in gratitude state, there's no room for victim state. And if you could be in an unstoppable state the most of your day, how great would that be?
Oh.
Would that be tremendous?
Absolutely.
And I always say life asks the questions, and life is saying right now, Aimmee, do you want to purr like a kitten or roar like a lion?
Oh. Oh gosh, this is
What would you like to do? If you lived your life,
yeah.
do you want to purr like a kitten or do you want to roar like a lion?
Well, it's just life takes both.
Okay, so you want the combination.
I want the combination.
You want the combination.
I want to be
that
me.
strong
I want to be
roar.
the sensitive. I want to be the loving.
No,
I want
you're
to
also
be
a lion, girl.
But then I want to be
Listen,
that.
you are.
So
you are a
can
lion.
balance that.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to end this show
Sure.
with the Monster Motivator roar.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it.
And we're going to. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. So on 3, it's going to go like this, right?
Yeah.
And the sound is just as important as the pose.
Okay.
Right? It's going to go ah.
Oh,
on 3.
yeah. Okay. Now
That's
I
right.
know what
1,
you're talking about.
2, 3. Ah. Girl.